wall that we all know, that some of us pledge our allegiance to here in this occupied land. But few of us know the story of. The first multinational corporation, the first one, was called the Dutch West India Trade Company. They were Dutch settlers and colonizers. The Dutch referred to this era as their golden age. They made most of their money by building ships. If you were in the traffic of slaves, you needed a Dutch ship. They were the IKEA of slave ships. They had little drawers you could put in little children. And when those Dutch settlers arrived on the island of Mannahatta, the Lenape, the indigenous of the island of Mannahatta, welcomed them. They fed them. They introduced them to the three sisters, the crops that were grown there. They taught them the land and welcomed them on it. But the Europeans of this age, they had begun to believe that any people that did not believe in private property were savage, could not be civilized. They gave to the Lenape this dead currency, a modern day equivalent of about $25. And in their mind, it was for the purchase of the island of Mannahatta. After they had given them this money, which the Lenape took as an offering, like the many offerings that they had given the Dutch settlers. The fish, the beaver pelts, the sage. They had fed and taken care of them. But the Dutch settlers could not understand how, after they had given them this dead currency, why the Lenape continued to live on the island, why they did not leave, why they continued to live there, why they continued to hunt there. And so the Dutch settlers on the island of Mannahatta decided to build a wall around the southernmost part of the island of Mannahatta. It was a wall that was built to keep the indigenous out. A wall that was built to keep the Lenape out. It was a fortress. They built towers on the wall which was 12 feet high and began to shoot at the Lenape so that they would eventually push them from the island of Mannahatta. Within the confines of this wall in the northernmost segment, the first thing that they built was a marketplace, an exchange, under the buttonwood trees that still stand. In this marketplace, you could purchase goods that settlers yearned for. weapons. You could buy or rent slaves. I'm forced to make the parallel because not everybody understands that a lot of people didn't own slaves on this occupied land. Some people rented them. You're building a house, you can afford to have them for a few days. I mean, this is California. I've seen you guys drive into the parking lot of depots to help you work in your garden. There is a history of that on this occupied land. And in this Dutch settlement, this fortress, which the Dutch called New Amsterdam, in the southernmost part of the island of Manhattan, where they had this exchange, a marketplace that exists to this day. It is called the New York Stock Exchange. It exists to this day. Those same buttonwood trees are there. The same exact location. The thing is, the Dutch, they eventually lost their empire. They were defeated by the British, and New Amsterdam became New York. And the wall, well, the wall no longer exists. The only thing that exists that tells you exactly where that wall was is a line of demarcation that marks where the wall once stood. It is called Wall Street. It is a wall that was built to keep the indigenous out. Clock that. It was a wall that was built to keep the Lene Lenape out. Assata Shakur said, a wall is just a wall. It can be broken down. Tonight, we are death doulas. The English poet John Keats said that poets are the midwives of reality. But these times are beckoning us not only to pay attention to that which is being born, but to slowly lull this empire to sleep and to its death.